Hey, it's the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers. Hi, everyone. Kevin Harlan with NFL MVP Rich Gannon. Steve Tasker is on our sideline. I guess, Rich, when you talk about the Green Bay Packers, it begins and ends with their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
It really does, Kevin. You know, he suffered that knee injury in the week one win over Chicago. He finally took the knee brace off last week against the Patriots, and I really believe he's moving better. He's having another solid season, 15 touchdowns and just 1 interception so far for Rodgers. On the other side, Brock Osweiler, there's no question he has the talent and the arm strength. What he's lacking right now, I think, is the consistency from week to week. Unfortunately, he's going to be without 3 starters along the offensive line. Both offensive tackles, Laramie Tunzel, Dwan James, will not play today, along with left guard Ted Larson, only making things more challenging and difficult for Brock Osweiler.
The Dolphins come in 5-4. Green Bay 3-4-1. Our kickoff is next on CBS.
Want to save money on pet food?
Let's go to the sideline and say good afternoon to Steve Tasker.
Patchwork offensive line can hold up against this Packer front and allow Brock Osweiler to operate their offense effectively enough.
All right, we've got some technical issues on our field. We'll check in with Steve in just a second. The Packers have won the toss. They have deferred. The Dolphins will receive. So we'll see that number 9 Green Bay defense against the Dolphin offense, which is number 28. Deep back is Jakeem Grant, the second leading return man in the NFL. And Crosby with the ball teed up and ready to go. The Packers, the Dolphins from Lambeau. And taken right in front of Grant by running back Sonoris Perry, who is brought down immediately after a 14-yard return by Oren Burks. Let's go back downstairs to Steve Tasker.
Yeah, Kevin, you and Rich mentioned the offensive line of the Miami Dolphins. 3 starters out today. 2 weeks ago before the Jet game, Adam Gase stuck his head in the offensive line meeting room and said, hey, nobody else is allowed to get hurt. Well, 3 guys went down in the Jet game, and he did that again this week. He stuck his head in the line room and said, nobody can get hurt, and this time I mean it. We'll see if this patchwork offensive line can allow Brock Osweiler to operate this offense.
Look out for Clay Matthews on 1st and 10. It's incomplete as Osweiler throws it to the side and throws it away. Brock Osweiler is making his 5th consecutive start for the injured quarterback Ryan Tannehill.
And there's no question that he understands this offense. Remember, he spent his first years in Denver learning under Adam Gase when Gase was the offensive coordinator for the Broncos. Just a challenge for him today, Kevin. He's not going to be able to hold the football, obviously, without 3 starters missing along that offensive line.
Packers in the nickel, 2nd down and 10. Here comes Gore, shiftily taking it into the secondary. Look at Gore! There he goes! All 35 years of him and down into the Packer 41-yard line. 39-yard run by Frank Gore. And a first down.
Just, Kevin, look at the movement they get here at the point, and then you watch Gore. He's just going to wind it back. And this guy is a finisher. He's got some suddenness and quickness at the line of scrimmage, and he's a tough tackle in the open field. He'll lower those shoulders. He's got a low center of gravity and still very productive.
With the 1st and 10. Once again, it's Gore as he takes it down to the 37-yard line. Hit by a couple, gain of 4 on the play. Let's talk about the offensive line. Issues there. Rich just talked about them. Offensive tackles injured and out, Tunzel and James. Today, left side Stirrup, and on the right side, Sam Young. Running back Frank Gore leads the Dolphins in rushing. Danny Amendola leads them in receiving. 2nd down and 6. Kenyon Drake is in, the fake to him. They get a block from O'Leary, the tight end, and it's Amendola with the great catch across the way in front of Breland. It's a gain of 10 on the play to the Green Bay 28 and a first down.
A nice job by Osweiler getting off the primary. He's going to work backside to Danny Amendola, who leads the team in targets and receptions with 40s. A reliable receiver. He's so good in the middle of the field. He does most of his damage.
Breland is starting for Kevin King, out today for Green Bay. 1st and 10. Silent count, Black by Young, and they go up the middle with a tackle made by Martinez on Drake with a gain of 3 on the play. Green Bay's defense, Kenny Clark, is playing at a Pro Bowl level on the defensive line, in the words of Mike McCarthy. Linebacker Blake Martinez is the leading tackler. In the secondary, we just mentioned King not playing, out with a hamstring. Breland starts, 2nd down, 7. And here comes, again, Kenyon Drake with a block up front by Stirrup. He also got a block up there from Jesse Davis. He's close to a 1st down, close to a gain of 7. He's just inside the Green Bay 19.
Kevin, you mentioned changes in that Packers secondary. They traded Ha-Ha Clinton-Dix to Washington before the trade deadline. They released Jermaine Whitehead earlier this week, and they're also without Kevin King, who's out with a hamstring injury. So you got a lot of different faces back there. Obviously, Tremont Williams playing the safety position. That's why communication is going to be absolutely critical for that Packers secondary.
6 defensive backs. Gore is in. It's 3rd and 1. Here's the pitch to Gore, blocked by Stirrup. And again, he's down to about the 14, gain of 5. Another 1st down in the game-opening drive for Miami, highlighted on a 39-yard run by Frank Gore.
I can't underestimate the importance of the running game for the Dolphins. They have to be able to rely on their rushing attack. Last season, they were 5-1 when they rushed for 100 yards and just 1-8 when they didn't. They need to stay committed to the running game, especially with the injuries up front.
Packers go to 5 in their secondary. Gore is in, but a wingback. It's the 8th play of the drive. Through the hands of Osweiler, and that will end the drive right there. Gilbert jumps on the ball. The snap comes from the center, Travis Swanson. Osweiler couldn't find the handle. Gilbert, who spent his career on the practice squad until this year with a great preseason, comes up with the loose ball. A takeaway by Green Bay's defense for the first time in 3 games.
Let's see what we got.
What is this?
Hey, Portal, call Lauren. Oh, wait, it's moving.
And if I go over here, camera follows me, does it?
You can see up here, right?
Yeah. Past it like quick enough.
I see you.
Yum, 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 yum.
Hey, Casey. It's nice to see you today.
On the Miami fumble, Green Bay takes over. Fake to Jones, blocked by Bakhtiari. It goes outside. Jones with the drop, and there have been a lot of them for the Packers. As the Packers just get their first red zone takeaway in the last 25 games. Aaron Rodgers, Rich, has thrown just 1 interception this season.
Yeah, but you just look at that drop, Kevin. Drops have been a problem. Throwaways, you know, Aaron's thrown the ball away 33 times this season, and that's one of the reasons why he's on track for the lowest completion percentage of his career at 60%.
Packers are starting 2 rookies today. Randall Cobb inactive, 2nd down and 10. It's Jones, a block from Lewis, a block up there from Lindsley, and he's up to the 42-yard line. It's a gain of 12 on the play. And a 1st down. Green Bay on the offensive line. They're lucky they got Bulaga back. He was injured last week with the knee, but he was back in limited practice this week. And rookies Valdez-Scantling and St. Brown are starting. Aaron Jones is averaging 6 yards a carry. He just had 12 right there. It's a 1st and 10. Oh, they're jumping. 3 down. Rodgers loves these. And going for Devontae Adams with a shove on Howard. No flag there, but there was a flag well before with an offsides on Miami.
Offside. Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's on Spence on that line. So the Miami defense on the line. Cameron Wake and Robert Quinn will put pressure on Rodgers throughout most of the afternoon. There is Wake, had a couple of sacks last week. Linebacker Kiko Alonso is the second leading tackler in the NFL. And in the secondary, Minkah Fitzpatrick replaces Pro Bowler Rashad Jones for the first quarter for discipline. 1st and 5. Bakhtiari the block on Quinn. Rodgers chased by Wake. Here comes Alonso, and he hits the deck, and he's got the first down. On that 1st and 5, he picks up 7. Let's go back downstairs to Steve.
Kevin, you just mentioned Rashad Jones last week in the Jet game, took himself out of the line. Happy with the rotation of the secondary that was going to happen in that game. Now, of course, Adam Gase told us some of the players and the veteran players were not too happy about that move by Rashad Jones. Had a meeting with Gase. They decided to sit him down for the first quarter of this game as a sort of in-house suspension. He won't be in there till the second quarter.
Steve, thank you. It's Jones with a good block by Kendricks. Into the secondary. Brought down there by T.J. McDonald to the 31 of Miami and a 15-yard run.
And you're going to see a good block by the tight end Kendricks, and then it's just downhill. I just really think they've got to be able to run the football more with Aaron Jones on the early downs. He leads the NFL in rushing average with over 6 yards a carry. He just needs more opportunities each week. And it's tough to get the volume when you're playing from behind, and you also have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers.
2 tight ends.
Alarm. Yeah, score still. 319.
With the 1st and 10. It's outside for St. Brown, the rookie, and brought down around the ankles by Bobby McCain on a gain of 1 to the 29.
We talked about the production. You look at this, they're really good in terms of running the ball. They're just not doing it enough. They're just 22 rush attempts a game. And I think they just need more balance, especially since the weather is beginning to change here in the Midwest. The Packers have the 2nd highest percentage of pass plays this season. They're over 67%. Only the Giants throw the ball more at 70%. And look, they're never going to be 50-50 run pass, but with a quarterback like Rodgers, and it shouldn't be, but they've got to have a little bit more balance running the football.
With a 2nd down and 10, Aaron Rodgers out of the backfield. Here's a screen pass. Bell looking for a block. Here comes Aaron Jones, banging off bodies like a pinball. Down to the 21. Hit by a couple, including McMillan. It is a gain of 10 on the play. Let's take you to New York, and here's James.
Opening drive success for Seattle.
Yeah, you're going to see Russell Wilson finds Nick Vannett 8 yards out as they score first. Remember, this is the second meeting, and Seattle lost the first meeting only by 2 points. They match up well against the L.A. Rams.
Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon, and Steve Tasker.
You and I were in Seattle last week, Rich, and Vannett had a nice game for their offense.
And they're running the football well, which is certainly helping Russell Wilson. You get the running back, Aaron Jones.
False start. Offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
They'll call Lewis, but it could have gone on a couple. As you take a look at Clay Martin, he is our crew chief and one of 4 first-year referees this season in the NFL.
I think they both moved, Kevin.
I agree, yeah.
Mercedes Lewis stumbled a little bit, and Aaron Jones tried to jump the gun. Aaron Rodgers does a terrific job of changing and varying up the snap count. He's got a great hard count.
Nickel secondary for Miami. 7th play of the drive. We have the 1st and 15. Here comes Jones again. Another block by Lindsley. And here goes Jones. There's a block by Graham. And he's inside the 10 and brought down by T.J. McDonald. Catch and run of 14. Make it 19 on the play. It's 1st and goal.
Well, they're a good screen team because you see the movement from Rodgers looking away from the back. And then they've got an athletic offensive line that can get out in front and run.
It's been all Aaron Jones on this drive, huh, Rich? He's got couple receptions for 27. He's got a couple rushes for 27.
He's become so much better in the passing game. I think he's a patient route runner. He's done a better job in protections. I just think he's got an overall better understanding of the passing game.
Rodgers with a 1st and goal to the end zone. Touchdown. Davante Adams, a 7-yard laser thrown by Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers cash in on the turnover by Miami.
Well, these slant throws are so hard to defend in this part of the field. And you look at Aaron Rodgers. He's going to look away. He's going to hold the safety. He just just throws a dart, puts it right on the body of Adams, and that's a tough one to handle. You have no help inside. You see the inside slant from Valdez-Scantling, and that opens up a huge hole for Davante Adams.
Adams has just caught his 8th touchdown reception of the season. Coming into this weekend, he was number 2 in touchdown catches. And since 2016, he was number 2 in the NFL and back of Antonio Brown at Pittsburgh. Crosby makes it 7-0 Green Bay. A turnover by Miami. Big series for Aaron Jones, the running back, but it ends up to the wide receiver, Davante Adams, for a quick 6 from Rodgers.
Dependability, honesty, integrity, just like in the military and at the Air Force Academy, and certainly for my family.
Is sponsored by AT&T. Committed to hiring 20,000 veterans by 2020. McDonald's Classic Meal Deal at participating McDonald's. And by USAA, official NFL Salute to Service partner.
Throughout the years, 100-year history of Green Bay Packer football, they've called a few different places here in the Green Bay area home. Hagemeister Park, Bellevue Park, City Stadium. Early days, Lambeau opened back in 1957. Here's the kickoff from the 6-yard line, Jakeem Grant. He's got a kickoff return for a touchdown this season. And he's hit on the play by the linebacker, Oren Burks, a 19-yard return.
Let's go back and look at the touchdown. Aaron Rodgers is trying to move the safety, T.J. McDonald. How does he do that? He does it with his eyes. Go ahead and start it. Just watch Rodgers. He's going to look to his right. He's trying to move the safety with his eyes, and he does that so that he can drop this ball, this dart throw right into the back of the end zone to Davante Adams. But his ability to hold the free safety, T.J. McDonald, with his eyes really opens up a big throwing lane on the backside.
Nickel secondary, Gore in the backfield, 1st and 10. It's Frank Gore. With a stop right there by Mike Daniels on a gain of a yard to put him up to the Miami 25.
I really like Frank Gore. I mean, just there's not a lot of negative runs when you really study Gore. He gets you consistent yards with every carry. I think if you call a run and there's nothing there, he can still get you a couple of yards. And again, he still has the ability to make you miss in the hole.
9-time, 1,000-yard rusher. Gore, 2nd down and 9. Gore again, trying to get a block from his guard, Davis. Clark is around his legs, gain of 4 near the Dolphin 30.
Remember now, with the changes up front with Stirrup and Brendel on the left side and Sam Young, Adam Gase can help these guys by running the football. Let them come off and let them start pounding and chipping away at that defensive line. A lot more difficult to pass set against 2 really good rush ends in Nick Perry and Clay Matthews.
Drake gives in. Time with Young's block at the right tackle. The pass is off and incomplete. And they were going for wide receiver Devontae Parker. Incomplete coverage by Kentrell Bryce. There goes the offense. The defense of Green Bay holds them 3 and out, and Miami will punt.
The Dolphins can't afford to get off to a slow start on offense. They struggled last week in the win over the Jets. Their defense had the only touchdown of the game.
To punt, Matt Hawk. And deep back for Green Bay is Tramon Williams. Minimal breeze inside Lambeau this afternoon. Low punt with no hang. Returnable. Here comes Williams. 3.69 on the hang. And look at him shifting. Fumbles the ball. Recovered by Miami. Carew, the tight end, jumps on it. So Green Bay had a fumble on a kickoff return by the now departed Ty Montgomery in Los Angeles. They have another special teams fumble right here by Tramon Williams.
And fumbles continue to be an issue for the Packers. They've lost 8 fumbles so far this season, which is tied for 3rd most in the league. They lost 7 all of last season. Talked about carrying the ball high and tight. He never feels the pressure on the backside.
A.J. Derby made the hit. He's one tight end. The other tight end, Carew, was the one to vacuum it in. And look at where Miami begins it at the 50, 1st and 10. Jamon Williams now plays safety with the trade of HaHa Clinton-Dix to the Redskins. Gore is in. Here they come again, and he throws it away, and Clay Matthews was hot on his tail with a flag being thrown. Downfield at about the 34 where the pass routes are run.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 26, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that's Breland, the former Washington Redskin, who is called, and today starting for Kevin King in the secondary.
Just watch this crossing route, and when he gets over the football, he's wide open, and sometimes Brock Osweiler, he feels the rush and he gets out of the pocket too quickly. You got to be able to trust the protection, set your feet, and make good, accurate throws from the pocket.
It's a handoff to Gore on 1st and 10. It's a ceiling block from one of his linemen up there, Brendel, who's from Madison, used to come to Lambeau and watch the Packers play. Gain of 4.
The film study this week, what I've seen from Osweiler, at times when he feels pressure, he'll start to drift and move to his right. And this creates problems for the right tackle. You've got to be able to sit in there, trust the protection, trust your footwork, and throw accurately from the pocket.
Injured player, and it appears to be Kentrell Bryce with Doc McKenzie looking at him right there. The great thing about any kind of leg or ankle injury here is they've got the foremost authority right across the street. The Packers do, and a lot of NFL teams send their players, injured players, to Green Bay to have things like feet and ankles and knees looked at. Coming in now in his place will be Josh Jones. 2nd down 5, Gore finds a seam, chased outside, brought down on the play by Martinez. What a burst to the 31, gain of 9, 1st down.
They've got an unbalanced line. You look at, they just have the guard and the tackle, O'Leary, over there, and they actually run to the weak side. Normally when they move the tackle over, they want to run to that 3 lineman side, but they break a little bit of a tendency there, and Gore is able to bounce the ball outside to his right.
Packers in the nickel, 1st and 10. Osweiler across the middle, and he's got Kenny Stills. His dad used to play for the Packers. Brought down on the play by Martinez, along with Breland. Put him at the 13, 18-yard gain, another Miami 1st down.
It just seems like each week Frank Gore breaks another record. You look at this, most consecutive seasons with 500 or more rushing yards. That's some pretty good company. Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, 2 Hall of Famers, and Frank Gore has had a Hall of Fame career.
I think so too.
He has been a great leader for the Dolphins.
Drake is in.
Hey, Mike 2-7. 2-7. 2-7. Omaha set.
Here comes Drake. You heard the Omaha right there. Osweiler used to back up Peyton Manning, and Gase was the quarterback coach in Denver. Gain of 2 right there by Kenyon Drake out of Alabama.
I just think Drake needs more opportunities. You know, last week he had just 3 carries against the Jets while Frank Gore had 20. And they're very different backs. And Drake's a guy that's got top-end speed. He can get on the edge of a defense, but it's been tough in terms of how they've been utilizing both backs this season.
No huddles, 2nd down and 8. Osweiler knocked away, a beautiful knockdown right there. I'll tell you what, Jair Alexander is playing about as well as any rookie cornerback in pro football. Leaping in front, knocking it away. It was intended for Devontae Parker.
And it's tough sometimes when you go from your right to your left and you look at his feet aren't square, and the dangerous throw back across the field on the back shoulder of Devontae Parker. Kevin, you mentioned Alexander. I think he's their best cover corner right now, the rookie. He's really played well for the Packers.
We should hear Bill Belichick talk about him. Wow. 3rd down and 8. Drake is out. Here they come up front. Nice hit right there. Fackrell. Kyler Fackrell, his 5th sack. Coming up the middle, knocking him down. Here comes the field goal unit.
And you're going to see Fackrell. He has a little spin move on the left tackle. Zach Sterup. Sterup struggled last week at the right tackle spot. He gave up two sacks against the Jets. You see Fackrell here, and believe me, both, you look at Fackrell, you look at obviously Clay Matthews, Nick Perry, they're very aware of the fact that both starting tackles are not playing today for the Dolphins.
Jason Sanders will try a 37-yard field goal, and the Dolphins are on the board. The Packers hold him out of the end zone. Green Bay gets their first red zone sack in 31 games, authored by Kyler Fackrell. Timeout 1:18 first.
Order online at Domino's.com.
Last month, the Packers hosted a Salute the Service flag football tournament featuring 5 teams, 1 from each branch of the military. All the participating teams received a donation from the Packers. They went toward their respective morale funds, with the winning team getting an extra $2,500. After a 37-yard Miami field goal after a Green Bay turnover, here's the ensuing kickoff. Look out! Here comes Lucas Patrick, the guard, like a bowling ball, and the ball was coughed up, as you can see, and Williams gets it. And now the lineman is down, it looks like. Looks like Patrick is down. It was a 15-yard return. It looked like Norm Boulash.
He would have been better served to let it go. This ball is going to go out of bounds.
Look at this.
And look at this. He lowers the boom. And unfortunately, that ball comes out.
It sure does, but I
think it maybe came out when it hit the
ground.
And
he landed on his helmet. And then
it was picked up.
It was retrieved. And it is Lucas Patrick who is down, the second-year guard out of Duke.
I think he lowered his head, and Kevin took
agree.
a shot to the head or neck area, but I think it's fortunate that his teammate Jamal Williams was there to scoop it up.
Breland was back for Green Bay, a position that used to be held as that kickoff return man by Ty Montgomery. He fumbled in Los Angeles. We mentioned that before. That's good to see him up. He said, if I get a chance again, by God, I'm going to run it again.
Oh, I mean, if you're covering a kick, you're not anticipating, a big offensive lineman coming down there, and Lucas Patrick picking up the ball and running it back. You're thinking about one of those smaller number guys. There's receivers or a running back, defensive back, but not a big lineman lumbering down the field.
They're going to check him out, as they always do. It is a 1st and 10.
319.
Aaron Jones finding a great gap, and there he goes. Foot race with Howard. Foot race with Minka Fitzpatrick. Jones inside the 5. What a gallop. 66 yards.
Well, this is unusual. Both linebackers step up and there's a huge hole right in the middle of this Miami defense. I mean, look at this hole. I mean, this is crazy. And then he's just off to the races.
Aaron Jones, 3 carries, 93 yards, 2 receptions for 27. It's 1st and goal at the 4. Jones, nice block up front. He was getting it from Lane Taylor, the guard. Gain of 2, put him at the 2 of Miami.
Well, the Dolphins' run defense has been a bit of an issue. They're currently ranked 28th against the run. They give up a little over 136 yards a game on the ground, and right now the Packers are having a lot of success running the ball up inside between the tackles.
As time is out in the 1st quarter. And we will take you to the 2nd quarter. Green Bay on top on a 7-yard touchdown pass. Rodgers to Davante Adams on CBS.
We might have to put you in protective custody.
Oh, God, that sounds restrictive.
An all-new SWAT.
Through 15 minutes of football, Rich, those are some of the numbers so far, with the Packers and a goal to go right now to start the 2nd quarter.
And how about the 1st quarter that Aaron Jones has had, Kevin? He's 4 carries for 96 yards, 27 receiving yards. He's accounted for 123 of the Packers' 139 yards of offense in the 1st quarter. Been a one-man wrecking crew. for the Packers.
We start the second quarter with a 2nd and goal at the 2. St. Brown is on the move. Aaron Jones. They're shoving him. They're pushing him. Bell is pushing him in for the 2-yard touchdown with some help from the backside.
You mentioned some help from the backside. I think he gets some help from the left guard Taylor and the right guard Bell. He just shoots up in that A gap between the center Lindsley and Bell, and then you just see Bell pushing, you see Taylor pushing. Bulaga comes in there at the end. Good effort and good movement up front for the Packers.
So Aaron Jones, who now has 98 yards rushing, the 2-yard touchdown right there, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season, has put the Packers up 13-3, and here comes the extra point. Packers have added twice, and they have scored twice. Crosby, 14-3 Green Bay. Packers have lost 2 consecutive games in 3 of 4. With a look at Mike McCarthy. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from State Farm.
How are you everywhere? It's like there's hundreds of you.
Higher.
900s?
Nope. 19,000.
19,000 agents? You're not all here, are you? Sorry, Aaron, I know this stings, but defense wins championships, and we're defending your truck now, so State Farm, you can pack those khakis and go.
Who's protecting my house?
Should I unpack my khakis?
No, you keep those khakis packed.
Look at Aaron Jones, 6 yards a carry coming in. That has been jacked up with authority here in this one, Rich, the way he has run and caught the ball and run.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's just shy of 100 yards. Kevin, we just started the second quarter. He's got 98 rushing yards on just 5 carries.
Crosby with the boot to kick off. And Jakeem Grant is at about the 2. Grab and taken down. James Crawford. 13-yard return. Crawford leads the special teams in tackles for Green Bay. The NFL is deeply committed to Salute to Service, the league's year-round effort to honor, empower, and connect with our nation's service members, veterans, and their families. Join the Salute to Service by visiting NFL.com/salute. We'd like to thank all our military veterans on this military weekend, this Veterans Day weekend, including a member of our core crew, Levon Wright, who served 3 years in the Air Force, is now one of the best tape operators in network broadcasting. Levon, we thank you and salute you. From the 15, it's Gore on 1st and 10. Martinez among a couple to bring him down. Also the linebacker Reggie Gilbert. It is a gain of 4. Miami's out near their 19-yard line.
And it's so important for Miami to come away with some points, Kevin. You know, like they just can't get off the slow starts. They're just not good playing from behind, and can make for a long day. Yet to score on an opening drive this season, and they've been slow starters historically in the first quarter under Adam Gase.
With a 2nd down and 6, he goes outside to Gore by himself, and then wrestled out of bounds by Josh Jones. No word yet, by the way, on Kentrell Bryce, who left the game earlier. He had a knee injury coming in. Looked like he had a leg injury coming out. Gain of 8 right there.
I think the game plan is going to be adjusted based on the health and the injury situation of this offensive line. What I anticipate is plenty of quick game from Osweiler, the screen game, which the Dolphins are very good at, and certainly the running game. They've got to be able to pound the football. When they throw it, they've got to use a little bit more max protect to give Osweiler some time back there.
Into the nickel secondary. That is caught. It's Amendola. He got by Josh Jackson. He's chased by Tramon Williams and brought down inside the 35. Put him at the 34. Catch and run at 39. The leading receiver, the former Patriot, Danny Amendola. First down, Miami.
And a really nice adjustment by Amendola. It's kind of a back shoulder throw. He's able to keep his concentration and focus, and now he's off to the races against Tramon Williams.
With Gore in the backfield, he had a tough time getting that ball. I don't think he threw it on the laces, and the pass goes outside with a little bubble screen to Devontae Parker. Rustled out of bounds by Williams, and more of that secondary. Gain of 10 right there. Steve Tasker's on the sideline.
Kevin, for more information on Kentrell Bryce, he has an ankle injury. He's questionable return. Also, Lucas Patrick on the kickoff return. He's being evaluated for a concussion. He's been taken to the locker room. No word on the likelihood of his return.
Steve, thank you. Gore in the backfield. 1st and 10. Stir up the block at the left tackle. We have a pass across the middle. Devontae Parker brought down on the play by Josh Jackson. It is a gain of 7. Jackson is a rookie 2nd-round pick out of Iowa. The ball to the 17 of Green Bay.
The Dolphins need to get more from Devontae Parker. He's got the ideal combination of size and speed to go along with that huge catch radius, but unfortunately he hasn't been able to put it all together. He's been inconsistent. He's also struggled with some nagging injuries.
Parker's got 2 catches today, 9 for the season coming in. 2nd down 3. Look at Gore hurdling defenders, hurdled Alexander, and takes it inside the 10 to the 8. We have a tackle made on the play by Lancaster. Gain of 9, 1st and goal.
Well, I enjoy watching Frank Gore work. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, he's so efficient. He does it all. He's just timeless. You know, he's like that great bottle of Cabernet, Kevin, that you got in your wine cellar. It just keeps getting better with age. And that's really Frank Gore in a nutshell. He's as tough as they come. It's important to him. He's got a great passion and work ethic, and it's really rubbed off with some of these younger players on Miami's offense.
We have a 1st and goal at the 8 outside Amendola. Make it the tight end, A.J. Derby. That is incomplete. Derby has missed 6 consecutive games with an injury, a foot injury, but active up, and as you can see, playing today for the Dolphins. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
And it's good to get him back, Kevin. He's another option inside the tight end position. He's a very good route runner, former quarterback in college and tight end, and a guy that can really help Osweiler, especially in this part of the field.
Drake is in, 2nd and goal. Kenyon Drake. And brought down nicely, linebacker Blake Martinez. They get him at about the 7 with a gain of 1.
Well, Martinez has really played well, especially the last 5 games. He's got 46 tackles and 46 tackles and 4 sacks during that stretch. He leads the team with 70 stops. Martinez has played well for the Packers.
9th play of the drive, 3rd down and 7. Green Bay with 5 in their secondary. Osweiler, and almost picked off. It's incomplete. Almost grabbed on the play by Raven Green. Here's a rookie free agent out of James Madison. 4th down.
Well, Amendola really gets doubled here. You got Martinez covering him, and then over the top, which I don't think Osweiler saw, was the safety, Raven Green. Osweiler, he's zeroed in on the crossing route, and that's Amendola who's getting pulled from behind by Blake Martinez.
Here comes Jason Sanders, who's already kicked a 37-yard field goal today from 25 yards. He is the best rookie kicker in the NFL. Flag thrown. The kick was away and good. And let's get a reading on the flag.
Well, if you're Miami offensively, you can't keep settling for field goals in this part of the field.
Offside. Defense, number 37. That penalty is declined. Result is a successful field goal. Timeout.
So 3 Miami red zone possessions. 2 field goals and a turnover for backup quarterback Brock Osweiler in Miami.
Thursday Night Football, Thursday at 8 on NFL Network, Fox, and streaming on Prime Video.
Aaron Rodgers' completion percentage coming into this game was 28th in the NFL. That raised some eyebrows and a lot of writing in this week of covering the Packers in northeastern Wisconsin. The ensuing kickoff after the Dolphins got a 25-yard field goal. Here comes Breland, who works his way through and is brought down by Mike Hull, who tripped him up. A flag has been thrown. back at the 19. 30-yard return.
You mentioned the completion percentage of Aaron Rodgers, Kevin, at 60%, and that, that's ridiculously low for one of the NFL's most accurate passers. Back in the day, you think 60%. Nowadays, that number's up around 70, which tells you that something's amiss with this Packers offense. But
during the return, personal foul, illegal double team block. Receiving team number 30, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Aaron Jones is the Packers Salute to Service Award nominee this season. Aaron Jones, with both of his parents, retired majors in the U.S. Army. And you can see what he's doing here.
Just rips off a 67-yard run. He finishes it down in the red zone. He's, you've got a back that's got a hot hand. You got to keep feeding him the rock.
With the 1st and 10, Bulaga the block at the right, tackling downfield. They go. It's off the helmet of Fitzpatrick, who is covering Equanimeous St. Brown, the rookie out of Notre Dame. A frustrated Aaron Rodgers talking about some of the reasons why that percentage is young receivers is one of the many reasons, Rich.
Yeah, they really feel, though, that if they can handle the edge rushers, and in particular Cameron Wake and Robert Quinn, they really feel like they can take some shots down the field. They like their matchups with their wide receivers versus the cornerbacks of the Dolphins.
Jamal Williams in there, 2nd down and 10.
Here it is. He said, "Where are y'all going?" It's amazing, the communication.
Here's St. Brown outside with a nice read on the play by the defensive back, Bobby McCain. There is no gain on the play. They stay at the 10.
You talk about the importance of communication. Right in the middle of the cadence, you heard Aaron Rodgers say, "Where are y'all going?" And he was talking to Lindsley and Taylor and the offensive line to figure out, were they going to slide to the left? Were they going to deuce to that middle linebacker, Kiko Alonso? How are they going to handle the protection? And that's the critical nature of communication with the quarterback and the center at the line of scrimmage.
Into the nickel, 3rd down and 10. Williams in the backfield. Here's Rodgers. The dance and the throw. And it's caught outside by Davante Adams. Rashad Jones, who did not play in the first quarter because of a disciplinary issue, picks up 20 on 3rd and 10. Put him at the Green Bay 30-yard line. First down, Packers.
Well, Davante Adams is their best receiver, and the Dolphins are going to match him with Xavier Howard, who's their best cover corner. But this just takes too long. And the advice from defensive coordinator Matt Burke to the secondary this week, there's no time clock. You got to stay connected and cover through the whistle. You can't let your guard down with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers.
Jones is in. Here comes Rodgers. Little toss right there to the tight end Kendricks. And brought down by McDonald with a gain of 6. And he's up just beyond the Green Bay 35.
One of the things that I noticed, Kevin, in studying tape this week, when Aaron Rodgers gets outside the pocket, they talk about this scramble drill. When he gets outside the pocket, receivers breaking off their routes and taking friendly angles to come back. The reactions haven't been very good. It's an area where they've got to be better. I think it wasn't as much a focus because of Rodgers' knee injury the first month of the season, but I think he's moving a lot better, and so he's got to fill a lane and start working back to the quarterback.
2nd down and 4. Here's Jamal Williams, 2nd year back out of BYU, burrowing his way for a gain of 2, and he's up to the 37.
Well, if you're this Miami defensive line, you've got to keep Aaron Rodgers contained in the pocket. The Patriots did a really good job of this, getting upfield, setting the aim, setting the edge, but being disciplined and level with the rush with your defensive line, your tackles inside. Aaron does a good job of stepping up and stepping out. And so that's going to be the challenge. Make this a phone booth type game for Rodgers. Don't allow him to get outside and extend plays.
Packers are number 9 in 3rd downs this season, 3rd and 2. Williams in the backfield. Outside they go, and that is the talk of the town. Valdez Scantling Marquez Valdez-Scantling, rookie out of South Florida, picking up 5. They get the first down, and they're up to their own 43-yard line. He had a big game last week against New England.
Well, he has the size and the length you love at the position. He's 6'4". He's 205 pounds to go along with top-end speed. And Aaron Rodgers told us on Friday he's becoming a much better route runner.
319.
Williams in the backfield, 1st and 10 for Rodgers. Bakhtiari the block. Here goes Aaron on the move. Down to about the 47-yard line. Nice run. That brace is now off that left knee, Rich. He picks up 9 right there.
We just talked about this a second ago, Kevin. You see the rush up inside. Now watch him. He's going to step up and out. And this is the challenge. He does this as well as any quarterback in football, stepping up in the pocket and then stepping out.
Williams on 2nd down and 1. And grabbed by Raekwon McMillan out of Ohio State. And they lose a yard on that run back to the 49.
We always enjoy visiting with Dolphins defensive coordinator Matt Berg. I think he's sharp. He's got a good feel for what they've got to do against Rodgers. It's easier said than done. He said, we're not going to be able to fool him. But what we can do is we can confuse some of the other guys. We can confuse the offensive line, some of the receivers with different pre-snap looks. And that's going to be important. You've got to change things up against these Packer receivers.
Rodgers with a 3rd down and 2. Here they come from the side. McDonald can't get him. It was a block by Williams. Now he's being chased on the play by Baker. Finding time and incomplete. He could look all day long, and you can tell he's moving around better.
Well, he's moving better, but the problem is he's got nowhere to throw it. We talk about the scramble drill. When Rodgers gets outside here, stop it for a second. People have to start coming back and working back to the quarterback, and you're just not seeing enough of that as you study the film. And they said part of it is Aaron wasn't practicing, Kevin, during the week. You know, the last month of the season. He took that knee brace off last week. I think he is moving better. And this has to be more of an emphasis. He's so good at extending plays. His receivers have to do a better job and a more consistent job of working back to the quarterback.
Devontae Adams was lining up in the backfield as the Packers are going to go for it on 4th down and 2.
You know, in visiting with Mike McCarthy on Friday, he said, everyone has to fill a lane, but he said every play in the Packer playbook is designed to have a second phase, and that second phase is when Aaron Rodgers pulls the ball down and scrambles. That's an area where they haven't been as efficient.
That second phase can phase out that defense. 4th down and 2, Adams in the backfield. Fourth and 2, they got around Graham, and here they come. Up high they had Quinn, down low they had Wake. And the ball will be turned over to Miami on downs. The first sack for the Dolphins. A loss of 6 as Graham could not hold his water on the right side, and they get to the Packer quarterback.
Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. FedEx, possibilities, what we deliver by delivery. And by United States Air Force. Experience more at airforce.com.
31 in Green Bay, about 5-mile-an-hour breeze, no precipitation in the forecast. 1st and 10 on downs. Packers turn it over. Gore in the backfield. Gore. And he's brought down by Lowry and others at about the 42, and he brings a gain of 3 to the offense.
Let's take a look at the 4th down sack. You see the double A's, and what happens is they're going to try and have the tight end Graham block Quinn. And that's probably not a good matchup, but you see watch what happens. Balaga has no one to block because he's sifting. He's working down inside, and they turn the tight end loose on Robert Quinn, who's one of the best pass rushers in football.
Nickel secondary, 2nd down and 7. On the crossing pattern, Amendola can't hold on to it, and Zach will right there. We have a flag. Danny Amendola, we said earlier, leading receiver coming in. He's caught at least 2 in every game so far this season, leaving the Patriots as a free agent.
Well, he's so sneaky good in the middle of the field,
Illegal
working between the
contact.
numbers.
Defense, number 37. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Josh Jackson, the rookie in the secondary.
A couple rookies playing a lot of football
Yes, they are.
in the secondary for the Packers. You mentioned Jackson, Alexander. A lot of snaps and a lot of reps with the ones.
Second-year Josh Jones now taking the place, as we mentioned earlier, of the injured Kentrell Bryce at safety. Drake in the backfield. 1st and 10. Stir up the block at the left tackle, and down the sideline they go. They're looking for Parker, and the coverage on the play by Josh Jackson with an incompletion. 2nd down and 10 coming up on the Verizon halftime report. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for the latest NFL scores, news, and highlights, all coming up on the Verizon halftime report from our CBS studios in New York.
Good look at Adam Gase, the head coach and play caller. He told us he didn't find out until after practice on Friday that they would be without both starting tackles.
There's a tackle by Josh Jackson on a run by Drake that wheels his way for 6 down to the Green Bay 31.
Now think about that for a second.
No,
they
that's
put
amazing.
the game plan in with the expectation that Tunzel was going to play, James was going to play, Larson was going to play, and then they get on the plane on Saturday and they're making adjustments to the game plan.
Wow.
It's not an easy position. He had a great attitude about it when we sat down with him on Saturday night. He's not going to blink. He's got a hot script there, a hot call sheet. He feels like they can win with Osweiler.
6 in the secondary, 3rd down and 4. Gore is in. You see the flags, and I think we got a
Offense, number 64.
Yep.
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's on Jake Brendel. He's playing left guard, taking the place of the injured Ted Larson.
He saw the shift of the Packer defensive line, and he flinched.
No left tackle, no right tackle. They're both out, but that's tough.
And think about it, they lost their starting left guard, Josh Sitton. You lost your starting center, Kilgore. They've had so many injuries along that offensive line.
Sitton, the former Packer. 3rd down and 9. Gore is back there. Blitz, they go outside. Here comes Parker looking for a block. Nice tackle on the play by Blake Martinez. Read it well. They get as far as the 29 of Green Bay. Gain of 7.
Well, Martinez comes from the other side of the field. He just sees these quick screens, and the Dolphins have a ton of them. And they throw them to all their receivers, and they're hard to defend, especially when they get in those 3-by-1 formations where they put the 3 receivers to the one side.
So here's Jason Sanders. 2-2, 47-yard field goal try. He's nailed one from 37, from 25. With a slight breeze at his back. This is right down the middle from 47 yards away. 3 more on the board for Miami. Packers lost it on downs as they gambled a bit. Miami gets 3. 2:49 first half on CBS. Sanders has kicked 3 consecutive field goals for Miami. 37-25, 47 minutes ago. Here's the kickoff to Breeland. He'll leave it in the end zone. Touchback to the 25. Rodgers will have 2:49 with which to work in 3 timeouts. Help people affected by the California wildfires by visiting redcross.org or text CA Wildfires to 90999 to give $10 to the American Red Cross California Wildfires Relief. A lot of people out there that are going through some very, very difficult times. We wish them the best. In the backfield, they've got Aaron Jones.
We 19.
It is a 1st and 10. Here comes Jones, just shy of 100 yards on the ground today, pushing his way. Couple, including Malveaux, jump on his back. We'll call it no gain. They'll stay at the 25.
Well, the Packers place such a huge emphasis on their 2-minute offense. I don't know there's a team that practices it more. Talking to Mike McCarthy on Friday, he said they used to practice it on Friday, but because it's so important, they decided to make it even more of a priority and install and to practice it earlier in the week.
2nd down and 10. Good block there by Graham, and they go outside here to Valdez-Scantling. McCain got him. Also hit by McMillan. That is a gain of 9. Valdez-Scantling is the fastest Green Bay Packer, a state track champion in high school in the state of Florida. Began at North Carolina State. Then he transferred and went and finished up at South Florida. We're at the 2-minute warning at Lambeau and Green Bay.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Make it what you want. And by Kay Jewelers. For all the moments, for love, forever.
History all around Green Bay. Tribute to the Packers. There's colorful history owned by the city. Some of the biggest names in the history of pro football associated with this organization. We're at Lambeau, built back in the late 50s. 3rd down and 1. Packers have all 3 timeouts. And here comes Jones, who slithers his way for a couple. Brought down by Akeem Spence. Picks up 2. Has the first down to about the 37.
Well, the Packers have had the best short yardage offense in the league right now. That's converted 8 of 9 on 3rd and 1.
Rodgers 1st and 10. Bulaga the block at the right tackle on the quick slam that get Valdez-Scantling. He was brought down by Alonso and hit by McMillan and picks up 12 on the play up to the Green Bay 48. Rodgers outside. Valdez-Scantling stiff arms his way into McCain. Has a first down to the Miami 41. He picks up 11 on the play.
Well, no one has a quicker release in our league than Aaron Rodgers, and I mean nobody, especially when he's operating from the gun, and even when he's under center. At times he throws the quick game without the laces, and I can tell you as a former quarterback that's very difficult to do.
Without the laces.
He just gets it and throws it. Doesn't even worry about trying to get the laces in that right hand.
Rodgers 1st and 10. Bakhtiari with a block on Quinn. Here comes Aaron. They need the 31. Out of bounds near the 34, 33, and ushered that way by McDonald and others. A gain of 8 by Aaron Rodgers, who on the ground has carried it 3 times for 24. Aaron Jones has 7 carries for 100 yards, including a galloping 66-yard run earlier in the game.
We just have to be disciplined with your rush lanes playing against a quarterback like Rodgers. You got to stay on the same level. Has to be a coordinated pass rush against Rodgers.
Into the nickels, 2nd down and 2. Quinn devours him as Jones got it. No gain on the play. Timeout taken right there. The clock is stopped at 58 seconds. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Lowe's.
The moment you realize your fridge is trying to tell you something.
When you need to replace an appliance and need it now, start with Lowe's. We sell more appliances than anyone else, so we know how to help you get the right one when you need it. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's.
Shop Lowe's Black Friday deals and get up to 40% off select appliance special values.
Obviously, the Dolphins in Wake would love to hold Green Bay to just 3, if that. 3rd down and 2. Packers have 2 timeouts. Pocket crumbling. Rodgers will be sacked for a 2nd time. Quinn gets him again. Robert Quinn, the 2-time Pro Bowler, acquired in a trade with the Rams. It pushes him out of field goal range. Pushes him back to about the 44.
A really nice rush here from Quinn, working on the left tackle. Bakhtiari just gets inside, and then he's able to rip around the edge, and Aaron Rodgers never feels him coming from behind. And Kevin, I said earlier in the game, they need more from their pass rush. Just 15 sacks through the first 9 games. The leading sacker was Cameron Wake with just 3, and only 3 teams have had fewer sacks this season. But in talking to Matt Burke on Saturday, he said, hey, look, it's starting to come together for our unit. He felt like they played their best football last week in the win over the Jets. He dominated the Jets. They had 4 sacks and 4 takeaways on defense, including a defensive score.
And held him to no touchdown. Low snap and picked up by the rookie J.K. Scott. Amendola back, and it dies at the 6 and 7. J.K. Scott, the rookie out of Alabama. Got a Hunter Bradley low long snap, 37-yard, well-placed punt. Right now in New York, they're putting together the Verizon halftime report with JP and Company scores, highlights, and news from our CBS studios. The Verizon halftime report with a look at quarterback Osweiler taking the place of the injured Ryan Tannehill. Brock Osweiler has been with Denver. He was with Gase at Denver as they were with Peyton Manning on that Super Bowl run.
It's really where he cut his teeth and really where he learned this offense. I think when you look at where they're at, they're down 14-9, but they've got to feel pretty good in terms of just being in this game. If they could get a win, they could get to 6 and 4. They head into their bye, and they got a chance to get their starting quarterback and 3 offensive linemen back.
Gore on 1st and 10. There is Josh Jones with Whitehead out. Now the injury to Bryce. We'll be seeing more time. There's a pickup of 4. 2 timeouts for the Dolphins. And a timeout taken here as they get the ball up to the 11.
I think Adam Gase has helped with the play call, and Brock Osweiler has as well in terms of getting the ball out quick and helping this revamped offensive line without 3 starters.
Well, as you can see the record coming in, they've lost 2 of 3, although they did win last week against the Jets, as Rich was just talking about, 13-6. On the road, 1 and 3, second place in the East.
But they're struggling offensively.
Yes,
I mean, you look at that win last week against the Jets, Kevin. I mean, they punted 9 times. They were just 3 of 16 on 3rd down. They had just 168 yards of offense. They don't win that game if it's not for the play of their defense. So, Adam Gase realizes what the issues are. They're going to need a big second half from Frank Gore and Brock Osweiler.
With a 2nd down and 6, they get around the edge. Incomplete across the middle. They were looking for Devontae Parker, and there was some coverage there by Alexander and others, and down is Perry. Nick Perry. Lingering ankle issues have kind of affected the way that he has played. He only has 1 sack since the beginning of the season. None since week 1. He had off-season ankle surgery. And Mike McCarthy told us this week he is still coming back. Let's watch it again.
He's coming from the right side, left side of the screen. I think he gets kicked. Yeah, right there.
Ooh,
it's right. Like he hyperextends that right leg. And Kevin, you mentioned the pass rush. It's been a bit of an issue with the Packers. Just two of their best pass rushers have combined for just 4 sacks. You mentioned Nick Perry, Clay Matthews. That's it. They can't afford to lose.
Actually, Nick
Perry.
Rich, the strength of their pass rush has probably been more from the interior than the outside guys.
Yeah, I think Martinez leads the team with 4 sacks. And this is a defense that has to stop the bleeding. The Packers have allowed at least 29 points in each of their last 4 games.
Fackrell got a sack earlier today. He's got 5 for the season. No timeouts for Green Bay. 3rd down and 6.
Watch for a draw or an inside run here.
Raj was back there. Nice catch made. The hit by Fackrell on receiver Devontae Parker. Parker coming into this game only had 9 receptions. Today he's got 4. He picks up 14. Timeout Miami. They've got a 1st down, Rich, at their own 25.
It's a good looking throw from Brock Osweiler. He's going to sit in there. He's going to trust the protection. He takes a big hit from Clay Matthews. It makes a very good, accurate throw down the field to Devontae Parker. And Kevin, I said they just need more from Devontae Parker. He is a big target. You've got to give him some opportunities. Osweiler felt really good about their matchups. You look at Parker and Stills and Jakeem Grant, Amendola, they really feel like they match up well against this Packers secondary.
6 in the Packers secondary. 1st and 10 Miami. Kalen Balaj, the rookie, is in the backfield. Osweiler deep. Oh, and he's got him! Incomplete as Alexander fell and Parker was wide open.
And this is this is what drives me crazy, Kevin, with Osweiler. He overthrows a lot of receivers, and we just talked about this overthrow on the left side of the field earlier to Devontae Parker. You've got to give these guys a chance to make a play on the ball. I mean, Devontae Parker's 6'3". Just give him a chance to make a catch.
Kalen Balaj remains second down and 10.
That could have been a touchdown.
It is Balaj outside. Not a lot of room to roam as he's brought down by rookie Josh Jackson. It is a gain of 6. Clock is at 9. The ball's at the 31. And Miami will use their final timeout. The Dolphins, we said before, coming in 5-4. If they win, a 6-4 record for Adam Gase is in his 3rd season would match the same start they had in 14 and in 2016, which Green Bay is 3-4-1. They've lost 2 straight coming in, but look where they've lost. At the Rams and at the Patriots last Sunday night.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, this is a critical game for both teams, Kim. We talked about the Dolphins at 5-4, the Packers trying to get back to 500, and they've been really good at home, but they have struggled on the road, a lot like the Dolphins.
Martinez going to drop back in pass coverage, so they've got 7 deep, 3rd down and 4. Outside they go for Amendola, quickly out of bounds, and chased over there by Kyler Fackrell. It's a gain of 8. He's up to the 39 with 5 seconds left.
Well, you got a couple choices here. I mean, if you're Osweiler, you got to move around a little bit and try and throw one up. Obviously, I don't think he can throw the ball 70 yards down the field, especially into the wind. It's about your only choice with 5 seconds left on the clock.
The wind is minimal, and the telltales on top of the goalposts are virtually limp. But you're right. Here we go. 5 seconds left in the half. 1st and 10. The time, Balaj. And read well by Fackrell and brought down on the play near the 48. Flag has been thrown back at the 32.
I think you're going to have an offensive penalty.
Holding.
That'll be it.
Offense number 79. The half is now over.
Rodgers a touchdown pass. Jones a touchdown run. Dolphins 3 consecutive field goals. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon. And a word from your local CBS station.
Daryl. Hey, Daryl. Hey. Hey, how much would you pay for something you don't want?
Nothing. Is this a test?
No. Question 2. Do you like getting stuff you like for free?
Dolphins at halftime. Now let's take a look at the first half heroes presented by Downey. Aaron to Aaron, Rodgers to Jones. 66 yards right here.
He's really run well. 8 carries for 100 yards already for the 2nd-year pro. And, both teams have run the ball well. You talked about Aaron Jones on the other side of it. Frank Gore's got 84 rushing yards in the first half. So I think more of that in the second half. The biggest difference in this game, Miami's inability, Kevin, to finish drives in the red zone. That's going to be critical here in the second half.
Well, there's a lot certainly riding on this one for Mike McCarthy. I mean, they have basically said this is a must-win for our team today to stay relative. Right now, they're 10th in the NFC.
Yeah, at 3-4-1, they're behind the Vikings and the Bears in the division. They've got a lot of work to do, and things don't get any easier for Mike McCarthy and the Packers. They've got to travel to Seattle on Tuesday to play the Seahawks on Thursday night. Then they've got to come home and quickly turn around and play the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. So this is a game they have to have. And on the other side of it, look, the Dolphins are in a good position. They're 5-4. That AFC wild card race is going to be important. I don't think they're going to catch the Patriots, but a chance to put themselves in a good position through 10 games.
Breland will leave it in the end zone. Touchback to the 25 to the sideline, and 7-time Pro Bowler Steve Tasker.
Thanks, Kevin. I spoke to both head coaches at halftime. Mike McCarthy said, listen, there's only 2 possessions in the first half we didn't have a chance to score on. We had a 2nd one and a 3rd one on those. Offensively, we're fine. Defensively, it feels like Osweiler's going to throw it to them. They've got to catch the football and get the turnovers when they get the chance. Adam Gase, on the other hand, said, listen, the Dolphins have got to be more precise down inside the red zone and finish drives, and defensively they've just got to hang in there and keep Aaron Rodgers in the pocket or he's going to crush him.
Four in the secondary. Green Bay with two tight ends. Here's Aaron Jones over 100 yards. Wake is around his ankles out to the 32. And he picks up about 6 to 7 on that play. Green Bay, by the way, the last time, Rich, they had a 100-yard rusher, Jamal Williams, last December, 113 against Green Bay. Against Tampa Bay, excuse me.
We talked about the importance of the running game when the weather begins to change here in Green Bay. And this is a good second half starting team, Kevin. They've scored on the first drive of the second half in every game this season.
Second down and 4. They got around Bakhtiari, and they got a little block there from Jones, and downfield it was almost picked off by Xavier Howard. Looking for the rookie wide receiver, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You can see the kind of scoring Green Bay does with the first possession of the second half.
I don't know what they put in the Gatorade, or maybe it's the orange slices. Remember when you were a kid, you come into the locker room at halftime, you get the orange slices. I don't know what it is, but it seems to work for the Green Bay Packers offense. They make some adjustments at the half, and I think continuing to run the football and then play action off of that is going to be important.
Nickel in the secondary for Miami. Third down and 4 for Aaron Rodgers, and he delivers inside Devontae Adams. With a block right there by St. Brown. There goes a flag. Howard ushers him out of bounds. 21-yard catch and run right there.
That's going to be a hit on a defenseless player. St. Brown came in there and just depleted. I believe that was Bobby McCain.
It is. Bobby McCain, the 4-year player out of Memphis.
He's chasing, and then you're going to see right here equanimity as St. Brown just comes in and he just never sees it. You can't do that. I mean, you can screen him, but you got to be smart.
There's an injury timeout. We will step aside. Bobby McCain, as you can see, is being taken to the Dolphin locker room. They took off the helmet. They did a quick check on the field with the athletic trainers. Now for further observation, he will go right to the locker room. On the illegal hit by Equanimous St. Brown, a rookie receiver for Green Bay out of Notre Dame. And there was offsetting penalties on the play. One on Miami, one on Green Bay. We replay the down 3rd and 4. Jamal Williams out, Aaron Jones in. Ooh, he moved.
That's the second time today. Aaron Jones is, and you can see Aaron Rodgers.
False start. Offense, number 33.
There's no reason for
penalty.
it.
Third down.
He's right next to Aaron Rodgers. You can clearly hear the snap count. The thing that Rodgers does is he uses a double cadence a lot. So he'll start the cadence. He'll say hut hut. Try and get Miami to kind of show what they're doing, show their hand, and then he'll restart the cadence. And so you just got to be patient. You got to hold your water and sit in there.
It's 3rd and 9. Into the nickel. Here comes Spence up the middle. Here comes Wake. They're chasing Rodgers. And he throws out of bounds. He throws it away more than any quarterback in pro football. First time this season that the Packers do not score on their first possession of the second half. They got a punt.
And they do a nice job. Rodgers is going to scramble a little bit, but you just watch how they cover on the back end. The coverage has been outstanding. Go ahead and freeze it. I mean, where are you going to throw the football? Everybody is covered. That's a good job by this Miami defense, the linebackers alike. We talked about this time clock. There is no time clock today with Rodgers. You got to just hold on and cover to the whistle.
J.K. Scott will punt. Slight breeze at his back. Oh, and it's blocked! It was blocked on the play. And recovered, as you can see, by, it may have been Brandon Bolden, who came in, the former Patriot, to block that punt. Carew has got it, the wide receiver. Let's watch it again.
Well, you see penetration up inside. He
comes
comes
Bolden,
clean.
I think.
Yep, he's able to get that. I think that left hand on it, Brandon Bolden. J.K. Scott never feels when that ball goes straight up in the air. Takeaways have been huge. It was a focus in the offseason for the Dolphins. They lead the league with 15 interceptions, a bunch of fumbles. And that's a big turnover on special teams.
In the backfield is Gore, 1st and 10. And here goes Osweiler, and incomplete. Looking outside, there's the coverage by Alexander.
Good job.
They were going for Kenny Stills.
Excuse me, Kevin. A good job there by Osweiler. You're taking a shot on 1st and 10. It's not there. Throw the football away. You get down to this part of the field, you can't have penalties, turnovers, or sacks. The struggles that they've had offensively. You get in a situation like this, you've got to come away with touchdowns and not field goals. But to settle for 3 field goals already in this one.
Gore on 2nd down and 10 with a block there by the tight end O'Leary. There's not a whole lot there. A couple guys at the bottom of the pile, including Lowry. There is no gain on the play. Osweiler is a starter for Adam Gase, taking the place of quarterback Ryan Tannehill. Rich, 2 and 2.
You see him kind of jumping the ball here a little bit, making it a little bit more difficult on this Green Bay defense to make substitutions and dial up some of those pressures. But look at this look up front here. You've got a lot of bodies up around the line of scrimmage. And this is where you earn your paycheck if you're Brock Osweiler, sorting through all these different looks.
Drake is in. Outside they go. Gesicki, the rookie tight end, tries to go down that sideline after a big hit on the play by Alexander with a gain of 3.
You know, you see this a lot from defensive backs, and this is just a poor job by Alexander. He just goes in there and blocks him. And he never wraps. And if a big tight end like Gesicki, he's not going to go down. You see a lot of safeties and corners try and lower their head and cut rather than wrap and tackle.
Jason Sanders has already kicked 3 field goals today. He's only missed 1 all season.
I think they're short.
I think they are short.
I think they just have 10 men on the field.
You're right. Here comes O'Leary out to fill in that wing position. 2 to kick. It's a 40-yard field goal, and it's good by the young player, the rookie Jason Sanders. A 40-yard field goal. 3 more on the board for Miami. And a 2-point game at Lambeau in the
Bell on CBS is sponsored by Green Book. In theaters this Thanksgiving. Chipotle. For real. And by State Farm. Here to help life go right.
Metalcraft Mint makes these custom military challenge coins right here in Green Bay. These types of coins are commonly carried by members of the armed forces, exchanged as a symbol of recognition and gratitude. After his 40-yard field goal, Sanders will boot it. Breland will watch it go out of bounds inside the 5. Penalty on Miami.
Oh, it's a big mistake.
Yes, it is.
The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. 1st down.
He's had a couple go over there today. He had one earlier that was scooped up by Lucas Patrick that probably would have gone out of bounds. You see special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi, who's one of the best in the business.
He is one of the best. Saturday, the SEC on CBS brings you the best games from the best conference when Missouri takes on Tennessee. The day kicks off with the College Football Today show at 3 Eastern. Yesterday, Mizzou beat Vanderbilt 33-28. Missouri clinching a 6th win, which means a bowl appearance should they choose. Tennessee upset number 11 Kentucky 24-7. So here is Aaron Rodgers, who, Rich, in his last 10 starts at Lambeau Field is 9-0-1. His last loss at Lambeau was back in 2016 to Indianapolis.
You know, he's won over 80% of his starts here at Lambeau. 59-14-1 as the Packers signal caller.
Green 18! Green 19!
Quickly outside, nice catch made by Valdez-Scantling and thrown out of bounds by Xavier Howard. The gain takes him to near the 48 with a gain of 7 on 1st down.
I think this Marquez Valdez-Scantling is going to be a great one, Kevin, once he figures it out. He's just obviously a rookie. He's averaging 21.2 yards per reception. It's the 2nd highest in the league right now. He's got top end speed. He'll go get it. You look at that, 5 receptions. He's really taken advantage of the fact that Randall Cobb has missed so much time with that hamstring injury.
Out today inactive is Cobb. 2nd down and 2, incomplete. They had Fitzpatrick, who's now taking the place of Bobby McCain at the corner. Minkah Fitzpatrick, the #1 pick out of Alabama, and Bell looks like he's in pain.
He jammed the finger.
He sure did.
He's holding that right hand.
He's tough. Byron Bell, he started the last 5 games at the right guard, undrafted. Carolina 4 years, Tennessee 2 years, Dallas last season. And with McCray getting injured early in the year with his shoulder, then they plugged in Bell, and he's been starting since.
He's a big man, and he's really helped solidify the interior of that offensive line.
319. 319.
3rd down and 2 for Aaron Rodgers. Oh, and he's got his open receiver, and that's the tight end, Mercedes Lewis, who's working on Kiko Alonso and takes it to the 21. Mercedes Lewis only with his 2nd catch all season. 30-yard catch and run to the 22-yard line of Miami.
Well, they're running this fire pass to the right, and the tight end's just able to sneak across the formation. Kevin, you and I were talking before the game about, the size of Mercedes Lewis. He is a big tight end and a huge target for Aaron Rodgers. I love big tight ends, and that's what Mercedes Lewis is.
3 tight ends here. They're good. Here. 1st and 10. Aaron Jones, there was a great block inside. Bulaga and Bell laying the wood. He's down to about the 10. Howard on his back with the tackle. Gain of 11. It's a 1st down.
Well, he's a patient runner, and he's got great vision. He allows the big guys to do their work up inside, and he's just very patient. You see that initial cut, and he's straight downhill, and he's not down right there. He's done a nice job finishing runs.
118 yards on the ground. Boy, the block, the ceiling block by right tackle Brian Bulaga, huge on that 11-yard 1st down run. 1st and goal. Jones, St. Brown a block, touchdown. His 2nd today, and the Lambeau leap for the 2nd-year player out of Texas El Paso.
Was a good-looking run. He gets a key block or a lead from the receiver, St. Brown. He's going to come all the way across, and then you see Aaron Jones. That is a big hole for the back.
Crosby with the extra point. Green Bay's gone up 21-12 on Miami. 9.5 to play in the 3rd. Big time run. Aaron Jones from 11, then from 10 to the house. I'd be smiling too if my son had 128 on the ground and scored 2 touchdowns on the ground today. That is the father, Alvin Jones Sr., of his son Aaron Jones, and they're going to bring it out. Grant got a seam, and he was finally knocked down on the play with a return of 30 yards. Super Bowl 31 marked the Packers' first titles in Super Bowl II, 35-21 win over the New England Patriots. CBS, the home of Super Bowl 53.
Recognize that gentleman on the podium up there, Bob Harlan. We'll be proud of him, huh, Kevin?
Yes, there's a lot of good people in this organization and in this city that have supported this team for 100 years. They've been a part of. Drake is in the backfield here. Playing with a bad knee, suffered today in his shoulder, with a tackle right there by Josh Jones, with a gain of 1, replacing the injured Kentrell Bryce. Looks like they want a no huddle here, Rich.
Yeah, here's the problem. They have not taken advantage of the field position. I mean, you look at this, they get the ball at the midfield, they get the ball at the Packer 45-yard line and 28-yard line, and have had to settle for 3 field goals. Got to be able to finish drives in that part of the field.
Got time here, 2nd down and 9, and it's intercepted. Picked off on the play by Breland. Hit by Stills. Knocked out of bounds by Brendel.
He just throws this ball behind his intended target, Danny Amendola, and that was just too easy for Bashaud Breeland.
There is a flag.
There is no foul on the play for a block in the back. First down, Green Bay.
Breeland makes the pickup. He joined the Packers in early October.
Well, they get good push on the pocket. Osweiler, you just can't throw it behind the intended receiver in Amendola. I mean, just use the boundary, use the sideline. But really, in reality, Breeland was in great position on the left hip of Danny Amendola.
Only the second game he's played for Green Bay. Made his Packer debut last week against New England. As they discuss on the sideline, and Green Bay now look at him at the 12 of the Dolphins. Aaron to Aaron. Rodgers to Jones. Blocked by Bulaga. And down to about the 8 with a flag. McMillan and others are right there. Kiko, Alonso. Gain of about 6. Make it 5 as it stands right now.
I'm going to get an illegal cut. Illegal chop block. I think it may have been Devontae Adams. He comes in there and cuts Kiko Alonso, and you can't do that. Saw that from up here.
Green Bay is in.
Personal foul. Illegal crackback block. Offense, number 17. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
It's on Adams, the wide receiver.
Yeah, he's coming in from this side, and he's going to go down low, and he's in position, but you can't cut him. And that's how guys get hurt. Speaking of Kiko Alonso, he's been a real difference maker in this Dolphins defense. Second in the NFL with 83 tackles. He's tied for the league lead among linebackers with 3 interceptions. He was all over the place last week in their win over the Jets.
Began at Buffalo, then to Philadelphia, traded to Miami. So now back at the 25. First and 24. Blocking holes. You got him on the sideline. He hits Aaron Jones. Minka Fitzpatrick there. No gain on the play.
There's no panic with Aaron Rodgers. You know, Kevin, he'll pump the football. He'll look you off. He trusts his feet. And he's so good at avoiding the negative play. You know, he's thrown just a single interception this season. He's willing to throw it away at times and avoid the sack. I mentioned earlier he leads the league with 33 throwaways. Sometimes the best play, the only play, is to throw it away and move on to another down. That situation is able to find a check down on the boundary.
Second down, about 23 to go. Aaron Rodgers deep. Adams wide open. Look at the cut. The move into the end zone. Touchdown. "25-yard touchdown pass, Aaron Rodgers. His second today."
Well, you're going to see Devontae Adams. Xavier Howard, he's drifting because he knows he has underneath help from the flat defender, Rashad Jones. But for some reason, he turned his back on Devontae Adams. Didn't stay square.
Tacking on one more, 28-12. Aaron Rodgers, 2 touchdown passes. Aaron Jones, 2 touchdown runs, and the Packers are cooking.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, in theaters Thursday.
Couple second half touchdowns by Green Bay. A touchdown pass, a touchdown run. Devontae Adams, he's a good one. He just caught his second of the day. And the Packers have jumped on top of Miami, and they cash in on the Osweiler interception throw. Breeland was the one to get it. Grant will take it out. Getting the block from Perry. And down he goes. Let's go down to the sideline and Steve Tasker.
Guys, there was some big news in the National Football League this last week. Wednesday, Kevin Harlan's daughter, Haley, along with her husband, Jerry, they welcomed JJ Gerald Robert into the world. 6 pounds 9 ounces, 19 3/4 inches. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Harlan is now a grandfather. Congratulations, Kevin, you and your family.
What a crazy week. You got a Monday night football game, you've got a basketball game, you helped deliver a baby. Nice job. And you didn't drop JJ.
No.
Good soft hands.
Thank you, guys. It was unexpected, but much appreciated. First down and 10. They try to plow up the middle halfway through this third quarter. That was Frank Gore, who picks up 4, and Gore today playing in his 122nd consecutive game and Rich's 118th consecutive start.
And that's why they've got to be able to keep this thing close so that they can keep feeding the football to Frank Gore. Nearing 100 yards on the ground. Got to get a score here so they can go for 2 and make this a 1-score game.
Packers have scored 14 points off of 2 Miami turnovers, and Osweiler with a wobbly throw for Gore. The coverage by Josh Jones incomplete. 3rd and 6. Miami's had some red zone opportunities, Rich. They've kicked 4 consecutive field goals, but the turnovers, the margin against teams like Green Bay and Rodgers is so small.
And 3rd down continues to be a problem for this Miami offense. The last 2 games are just 7 of 29 today. You look at their 3rd down production, just 3 of 8. They start converting on 3rd down.
Green Bay's got 5 in their secondary, 3rd and 6. Osweiler's hit. Nice catch across the middle by Parker. Brought down on the play by Jair Alexander, close to the first down.
Maybe about ½ yard short.
Let's see where they mark it. They had to get to the 30, and you can see they're shy by about the length of a football. Well, 4th and less than a yard. What would you do, Rich?
Well, if you go and miss, it's game's just about over.
It really is.
Made a late decision there to punt the football. I think it's the right decision. I mean, we're still in the middle of the 3rd quarter. You're down by 16 points. If the Packers get another score, this is going to make it very difficult.
Oh, it's a fake. It sure is. And here comes the run, as you can see. And it's the wide receiver, Leonte Carew, out of Rutgers. 14-yard gain. Good call right there by Rizzi, the special teams coordinator.
A direct snap. That's a pretty good looking play. And boy, look at the movement up front. And what was so unique about that, Kevin, is they waited to make the decision. They ran the punt team on there late, and they had it up their sleeve. We talked about Darren Rizzi. He's one of the best special teams coordinators in all of football.
One of the highest paid in all of football, too.
He earns every dollar. He's a good one.
First down and 10, delay handoff to Drake. Let's see if this gives a little life here to Miami. As he saves out of bounds by Josh Jones. Ridden down, gain of 2 near the 45.
Well, I like the sense of urgency.
I do too,
by
Rich.
The Dolphins in that situation. Look, you're 5-4. You're on the road. You've struggled on the road. If you're going to win, you're going to have to do something here in the 3rd quarter. You can't. Part of the challenge is you can't give the ball back to Rodgers and the offense. Your defense is having a difficult time stopping the Packer offense.
A couple gadget plays by New England last week, too. 2nd down here and 8. Oh, up the middle they come. Dean Lowry brings down Osweiler's 2nd Green Bay sack, back to the 38.
Well,
losing 7 on the play.
Well, they've got the tight end blocking him. He's actually coming from the inside, and O'Leary's trying to block him. And they just turn him loose.
Lowry out of Northwestern, first sack this season. Drake in the backfield, 3rd down and 15. They need the 47 of Green Bay. Got away niftily and throws downfield, and he's got his receiver. That is Carew. He's recovered a fumble. He has gotten a fake punt run of 14 to sustain a drive. He just picked up 20 on a 3rd and 15.
A good looking route by Carew. I don't know, Kevin. I think if you if you convert on a 4th down and you convert on a long 3rd down, I think you should leave Carew in the game.
He was just promoted to the active roster on the 24th of October. He just caught his first pass of the season.
There he is right here.
First down, and he's out of breath. He's over there gasping for air. First down and 10. Nice slant. It's pulled in by Stills. The hit right there by Alexander. It's a gain of 8 down to the Green Bay 34. Let's take you to CBS in New York and James.
Back and forth in L.A.
Yeah, after Seattle took a lead to go 21-20, then Tyler Higbee takes his pass from Jared Goff, completing a 9-play, 75-yard drive, 26-21. They missed the 2-point conversion. They lead that game 26-21 with 14 minutes to go.
Back to Kevin Harlan.
Guys, thank you. Here's 2nd down and 2. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 2 touchdown passes. Aaron Jones has run for 131 on the ground and run it in twice for touchdowns. 2nd down, 2. And Grant. Look at that.
That's not good.
No, it is not. Oh,
he
my
was
gosh.
wide open, too.
He was, and he just pulled up lame, and down he goes. And that looks...
That was unusual. That was kind of a self-inflicted injury. Jakeem Grant's just running the under route, and just right in the middle of the route, he just pulls up.
They've already lost one playmaker this year, Albert Wilson.
He's right here.
See if we can
see run a little under route, and right there you see him pull up, and you don't know.
Is that an Achilles, you think, Rich?
Well, something to the left foot, ankle. He knew right away. You hate to see that. You know, they have great team speed on offense. You think about Stills and Parker and Drake. The fastest of all of them is Jakeem Grant.
He's had a punt return of 71 yards against Miami for a touchdown. He has an Achilles injury coming in, so that's why I mentioned, is it an Achilles? He had an Achilles injury coming in, which was
he knew something right away.
Really an issue, and sure enough, there he goes. He's had a kick return of 102 yards against Tennessee in the opener. And boy, they lose a lot of speed and savvy with Grant now gone.
He had the fastest 40 time coming out in the draft.
He did. He was a speed merchant.
And he's so good on those quick screens and those under routes, those slants. He can take a short catch and go the distance. He can score from anywhere on the field. It's a big loss for the Dolphins.
3rd down and 2.
4-down territory maybe here, huh?
Perhaps. Let's see. They go, and there's a drop by Parker, but it may have been broken up on the play with some nice defense there by Tony Brown. He is a rookie free agent out of Alabama, and he is down.
I think you keep the offense on the field. You've got to go for it. You've already converted a fake punt. You're down by 16, and your defense is having a difficult time stopping Packer offense. That's one you got to catch.
Yeah, Brown just played it well. The defensive back.
Yeah, but he let the ball get in on him. You know, you love to see these receivers extend their hands and catch the ball away from their body.
So Parker's out
now.
Okay, now Grant's out now, and Parker's out. It's 4th and 2, which they're going to go for it at the Green Bay 34.
You know who we haven't really heard from today is Kenny Stills. He's been quiet.
He only has a couple receptions for 26. Let's see what he does here. Gore is in. O'Leary is the fullback. There's the block, and it was a good one by Gore, and there's O'Leary, and they get the first down. Big time 4th down conversion. Hit by Brown. They pick up 5. They move the chains to the Green Bay 29.
This is fortunate. You know, you look at O'Leary, Kevin. He's going to be running this flat route. He's open early. For some reason, Brock Osweiler doesn't throw it to him. Give it to him right now. There he is. And he doesn't. He comes back to him late. He's very fortunate. You can't pass up the first receiver for the 2nd or 3rd receiver. If he's open, give it to him early and get him into the transition of the run.
It's the 12th play of the drive, and it's Gore. Wrapped up as he takes it inside by Kenny Clark, playing at an incredibly high level this year. Mike McCarthy says, maybe a Pro Bowl level with a gain of a yard. Rich, this drive is alive because of a fake punt run by Carew and then a 20-yard reception by Carew. As they take a look at Grant, they're going to take him to the locker room. That is not good.
This Dolphin team, though, they've got some fight in them. You know, they're banged up offensively. They're without 3 starters along the offensive line. They got a couple receivers that are dinged now, and yet there's no sign of quit in this team. It's a reflection of their head coach, Adam Gase.
Second down 9. Gore the block outside. There's Amendola right in front of Josh Jackson. Makes the grab, lassos the pass, gain of 2 down to the 26.
You know, sometimes as an offense, when you get a feel for the sense of urgency, you start going for it on 4th down. You know that, you know, in order to win this game, you're going to have to take some risks, you're going to have to take some chances, and that can help a veteran quarterback like Osweiler, knowing that he's got 4 downs and not just 3 downs to make a 1st down.
3rd down and 7. They need the 19. Drake is in.
They had a bust there. There was 8 seconds on the play clock, but a difficult time getting lined up.
So now 2 timeouts for Miami. So Rich, you come in 5-4. You're 2nd place and back in New England in the East. After your 3-0 start, you've lost 4 of 6, and Osweiler is in there for the starting quarterback Tannehill. You know, these are the kind of moments now that can change a season or sustain what you're trying to get accomplished.
Well, look, you know, Tannehill's starting to throw a little bit. Kevin, there's a good chance he begins his throwing regimen on Monday.
They're thinking just after Thanksgiving he might be able to come back.
Patriots lost today in Nashville. The Dolphins could get to 6-4. They come into their bye week. They've got a chance to heal up and recover and get some of those offensive linemen back, as well as their starting quarterback. Things could look a lot different in the second half of the season if they could somehow find a way to steal a win here today in Green Bay.
Well, Parker is out. He's had the last 3 3rd down receptions. 3rd down and 7.
Well, you got man-to-man coverage.
Drake with the block, but they leave him uncovered, and up the middle they come. What a play right there by Raven Green. It's the 3rd sack by Green Bay. Untouched, uncovered, driving with impunity. It's Raven Green up the middle.
Well, they had 7 to block 8. They're going to be 1 short. You're going to see the end man on the line of scrimmage comes, and they don't even block them. And they have to have a quick answer throw. You talk about a sight adjustment or a blitz break off, and they didn't do it. They didn't recognize the pressure.
That'll take us to the 4th quarter. Dolphins. That is not confetti. It is snowing in Green Bay. 31 degrees, and you can see our game summary with the 4 field goals by the Dolphins. Aaron Jones, a remarkable afternoon. A big gain of 66 earlier in the day, 131 total. 2 touchdown runs. Aaron Rodgers, 2 touchdown passes. Adams, 2 touchdown receptions. And Miami is going to punt on 4th and 19 to start the 4th. Matt Hawk. And that is going to go into the end zone. 38-yarder.
He didn't know where he was.
Yep, he did not know.
Walt Aikens. He doesn't realize he's 2 yards in the end zone.
He didn't know.
That was a good kick by Hawk, and poor coverage by Aikens, not realizing where he was on the field.
Tonight, big tech companies are making billions off your personal data, but are they protecting it? Plus, these twins made a secret pact as children that led them to become NFL teammates. The amazing Griffin brothers tonight on 60 Minutes, right here on CBS. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon, Steve Tasker, a terrific crew in our truck here in 31-degree Green Bay, Wisconsin. 1st and 10 for Aaron Rodgers. Valdez Scantling. McMillan had a good read on it, and down he goes. They'll put him at about the 20-yard line. So, Rich, on that Miami drive, 14 plays, about 7.5 minutes, and they get nothing to show for it.
Yeah, the big mistake on 3rd down, and they found themselves in a 4th and 19 situation, and they did the right thing. They're punting and trying to pin back the Packers, still with plenty of time in the 4th quarter, but a lot of work to be done. They have really struggled finishing drives when they get inside the 30 against this Packer defense.
52. 319.
It's a 2nd down and 10 for Aaron Rodgers. And this goes to Aaron Jones. McDonald's got him at the 30. A burst of 11. And adds to his terrific afternoon right now. 142 on the ground.
Oh, a good looking run. And just, you look at Balaga and the right guard, Bell. They get a double team. You see the tight end. He comes off and gets a piece of the linebacker. Nice job there by Jimmy Graham, and you see Aaron Jones do the rest. He's had a productive day. 13 carries, 141 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Packers have now gotten 4 consecutive 100-yard rushing games combined with 24 or 25 carries or less. 1st and 10. Rodgers moves up. First time today, Jimmy Graham. He was defended by McDonald. And Graham catches and gets it for 14 yards to the Green Bay 44-yard line.
Just watch Aaron Rodgers at the top of this drop. Watch the sense of urgency just stepping up. He knows he's got to help the tackle Bakhtiari handle Quinn. And that gives us enough time to find Jimmy Graham on the deep crossing route against the safety, T.J. McDonald.
Safe to say, Rich, that he and Rodgers are still kind of a work in progress?
I think so. I mean, look, Graham has done most of his damage, Kevin, over the years down in the red zone. He's got 71 touchdowns since 2010, and most of them have come down inside the 20.
Devontae Adams on 1st and 10 with the dance outside. There's Rashad Jones, the 2-time Pro Bowler. And the gain in the play is 6. He's out just shy of midfield.
You know, with the great quarterbacks, I always say their time clocks are so fast with how they play the game and process information. And that's what Aaron Rodgers does so well. I mean, he's been in this system since day one. You know, he and Mike McCarthy have been together. It's the only play caller he's really ever had. And he plays the game fast. I mean, he knows where his quick answer throws are. He gets the ball up and out so quickly, it makes it very difficult on the pass rush.
2nd down and 4. Aaron Jones into a pile and moves it a bit and down to the 49. So there's a lot of writing up here in Northeast Wisconsin, Rich, about the chemistry issues between Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers. What do you see?
Well, look, I know they're struggling right now in terms of wins and losses, but look at this graphic here. I mean, all of these coaches, you know, and quarterbacks have been together, and they've all won Super Bowls. And there's something to be said, Kevin, when there's continuity and consistency around the quarterback. You know, Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, as I said, have been together since day one. This is their 14th season together. They can finish each other's sentences. They know how to handle one another, and I just think that they'll find a way to work it out.
3rd down and 3. They got him, and he gets away. Almost picked off by Rashad Jones. They were going for Aaron Jones. Jones against Jones, and it's incomplete. It's 4th and 3. The pressure was on Aaron Rodgers.
He gets spun around, and I don't think he ever quite feels Rashad Jones. See, as he gets spun around, he just looks and sees Aaron Jones, but doesn't feel the safety of Rashad Jones. And I know Rashad Jones had some struggles last week, Kevin. He missed the first quarter today because of a disciplinary issue, but he is a good football player for the Dolphins. He's so good down around the line of scrimmage. And
Andre Branch.
They've had a lot of problems with the defensive ends. The injuries at that position have really hurt the depth along that defensive line. Branch missed time earlier in the season with an injury.
He did.
They had a great rotation to start the season. They had 8 or 9 defensive linemen that, you know, Matt Burke felt really good about, that they could roll through there, take some of the stress and some of the reps off of Wake and Quinn and be able to use them more in passing situations. But they've had to play more snaps because of the injuries along that defensive line.
Amendola back, and J.K. Scott, who had one deflected. It was not officially a block, although we all saw it by Bolden. It went 2 yards. It's a fake here. And look at, they go with Green. A taste of the Dolphins' own medicine. Raven Green for 26 on the fake. The rookie free agent out of James Madison.
They stole a possession. You see the block. You're going to see the motion go across. And they had a direct snap to Green. And the Dolphins are actually in pretty good position. But for some reason, the outside rusher gets hooked by Lance Kendricks. We talk about special teams. We talked a lot about, obviously, Darren Rizzi, but how about a little shout out to Ron Zook, the special teams coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. That was a well-designed play, and you see the frustration there from Darren Rizzi. Boy, a play like that can be the difference in a win or loss.
Aaron Jones.
And we've seen a couple big plays in special teams. And, you know, Marty Schottenheimer, my old coach in Kansas City, used to always say special teams, every play in the kicking game is the most important play in the game because it's either field position or points. You see,
he's talking to Carew. It must have been his guy.
He was the end man on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I think he gets hooked by Lance Kendricks. You
Just
see,
saw Ron Zook. He used to coach at the University of Florida, so Floridians know about him. 2nd down and 7 after Fitzpatrick just tripped up Aaron Jones on that last run, blocked by Bulaga. And a block by Bakhtiari, and here comes Aaron Rodgers and chased out of bounds by Godshaw.
They're going to get a holding penalty. One of the defensive linemen for the Dolphins grabs the back on the screen.
Packers have had some injuries in the secondary. They traded Clinton Dix. King is out today. Bryce was hurt early on, so they've had to kind of go deep. And Campbell, Ibrahim Campbell, who they picked up, he is not active today.
There are fouls by both teams on the play. Holding defense number 56, holding offense number 69. Those penalties offset. We'll replay the down.
Well, they get Bakhtiari, the left tackle, and then they get Godshaw, who grabbed the back on the screen. Aaron Rodgers was trying to throw the screen. He couldn't find him. That's because Godshaw had him in his grasp.
Rich, you were talking the other day watching all the tape. You've watched a lot of Green Bay games getting ready for this one about the big offensive line splits. Are they wider than normal?
They are, and I think part of it is because of the running game. I think part of it is because of Rodgers. They want to create some lanes for him, Kevin. But Matt Burke noticed that as well. It's a wide splits.
2nd down and 7. Look at the time. Look at the throw. Devontae Adams in the back right there in the coverage by Xavier Howard.
You know, at times you look at Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't even set his feet when he throws the football. You can see Devontae Adams up top matched up on the Dolphins' best cover corner, Xavier Howard. A little bit of a high throw there, but Rodgers has such strong core and arm strength that he can just whip it. He can just snap the ball 50 yards. I think he has the strongest arm in football. The arm talent is just incredible.
Today, 18 of 26, 181, no interceptions, 2 touchdown passes, 3rd and 7. Well, this is going to be
on the same page.
Not now.
It's a couple times now that he's thrown it in the direction of Devontae Adams, and I think he's anticipating at times him the back shoulder throw. For whatever reason, they're just not on the same page.
Why not, Rich? I mean, Adams has been around a while.
That's his best receiver. You just see the frustration with Rodgers. I think maybe Devontae Adams was anticipating a back shoulder throw where Rodgers thought he was going to try and run the go route and give him a jump ball in the back corner of the end zone against Xavier Howard. Howard's done a pretty nice job on Devontae Adams today.
Mason Crosby, a 38-yard field goal, and that is going to sneak in the upright. Green Bay's lead climbs to 31-12. Under 9 to play in the 4th from Green Bay.
The largest assortment of official NFL fan gear anywhere. Every team and all the players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Visit NFLshop.com today.
That's a good-looking jacket.
Yeah, you know, it's a good-looking jacket, but he looks cold and he looks frustrated to me.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking outfit for sure, and a good-looking lid.
After the 38-yard field goal, Drake is going to leave it in the end zone. Remember, Jakeem Grant is out with a leg injury. We've not gotten an update. We are trying to get that. So here are some of the early headlines. Marcus Mariota and the Titans knock off New England, and did it with authority. And Drew Brees today threw a touchdown pass that pushed him past Brett Favre for the 2nd most passing touchdowns in pro football history. And the Chiefs continue to play well with their 2nd-year quarterback Patrick Mahomes with 2 more touchdown passes, and they beat Arizona.
How about Drew Brees, Kevin? 21 touchdowns on the season, just 1 interception, and Patrick Mahomes 31 passing touchdowns.
Drake.
A lot of offense.
Drake in the backfield. Osweiler 1st and 10. Lowry is coming at him. Gilbert is coming at him, and he throws it away. 2nd and 10. Steve is on the sideline.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier, trailing 31-12 for the Dolphins with wide receiver Devontae Parker. He has a shoulder injury. He is questionable to return. Of course, Jakeem Grant with a leg injury. He's questionable to return. Running back Sonoris Perry is out. It's not going to get easier. They're going to have to go forward with Kenny Stills and Danny Amendola, and that's about the last two guys standing for the Dolphins.
You know, the Dolphins, Rich, had 21 guys on their injury report. I mean, a huge number coming in. That's big by any team's standards.
Well, the injury bug has certainly been an issue for the Dolphins.
2nd and 12, and across the middle they go. And this is Drake, hit by Jair Alexander. Alexander was the #1 pick out of Louisville. He's had a terrific season. Gain of 8 right there. They put him at the 33.
Kevin, you mentioned the injuries. They've piled up really on both sides of the ball for the Dolphins. Since the start of the season, they've placed 11 players on injury reserve, 9 on the season-ending injury reserve. We talked about the challenges coming in today without Tunzel and Juwan James and Larson, 3 offensive linemen out. Now you look at the injuries at wide receiver with Devontae Parker, Jakeem Grant. I mean, the bye is going to come at a great time for the Dolphins.
And they're still above 500.
I mean, they've got the bye next week, and then they've got the next 4 games. They're at Indianapolis. They've got Buffalo and New England, 2 divisional games before having to travel back to the Midwest to play the Vikings.
Tony Brown and Raven Green are in the secondary. I know you've never heard of them, but they're in there, rookie free agents. 3rd down and 2. The Packers have lost King. They just lost Alexander. There's Amendola, got caught up with the block of Derby, and down he goes. And there's Brown. He's been in on a couple plays today. 28, who played for Nick Saban at Alabama. The former Dolphin coach, Nick Saban. It is a gain of 1 yard. They're at the 34, and the offense stays on the field with a 4th and 1, and you see the 4th quarter clock ticking and the score.
The Packers having a difficult time getting lined up.
Well, they got old guys out there that usually play in the preseason.
They've got an unbalanced line. You've got the tight end and the guard, and you've got 3 big linemen to the left.
It's Drake trying to submarine, and he does, for the first down with a gain of 2. Rich, the Miami Dolphins have lost their past 3 road games by a combined 107-47, and here we're going to look at that unbalanced line you're talking about.
So you've got the right guard and the tight end. You get the 3 big bodies to the left, and in studying the Dolphins, they've done this on a number of occasions. Usually they run it to where the 3 big linemen are. Today they've run it a couple times away from the overload.
Look at Brock Osweiler, the 19th different quarterback to start for the Dolphins since Dan Marino retired at the end of the '99 season. Here's a 1st and 10, and that's a catch by Derby. And he's finally brought down by Martinez as he corkscrews his way to the 50 and picks up 13 on the play.
Well, Derby can help him. You know, Kevin, as you mentioned, he was hurt and missed a lot of time for the Dolphins, but you got some young tight ends. You got Gesicki, who's played well. He's not as good as an inline player, not as good a blocker. They don't really have that dominant edge player and a lot of receiving tight ends.
Derby missed the last 6 games, as you're talking about. Came from Denver last year. New England is where he got his NFL start. Here comes Drake. Fackrell will get him, and he's finished off by Josh Jones with a run to the 44 of Green Bay with a gain of 6.
You know, in our production meeting last night, we talked a lot about this situation with the offensive line. And in fairness, I've got to give Zach Stirrup, the left tackle, and Sam Young some credit. The 2 tackles have really come in, Kevin. We haven't really talked a lot about them, which is a good thing. You know, I think Osweiler has had some time back there to set his feet, to make some throws, and they've done a nice job in the running game. When you look at Gore, who's almost at 100 yards.
Osweiler has hit 10 different receivers. There's a throw right here. With a catch and a gain of 5 with the tackle made by Martinez at the 39-yard line, and that was grabbed by Danny Amendola.
I think you got to give some credit to Brock Osweiler and also Adam Gase, the offensive line coach, Jeremiah Washburn, for making some adjustments on the fly. Remember, they didn't find out until Friday night that Larson, Tunzel, and James weren't going to play.
1st and 10, here they come. Now down to the 49-yard line, he is sacked. Well, there's Kenny Clark. We've talked about him all day, and fourth sack on Osweiler of Miami.
Yeah, Matthews is going to come inside, and Clark just comes around, a little TE stunt. Done a nice job getting some push up inside today against Brock Osweiler.
Green Bay was 6th in sacks coming in with 25, now up to 29. Second down and 19, Osweiler. And this is caught by Danny Amendola, who's brought down on the play by Blake Martinez. I want to get one more note in here as we're winding down, but Frank Gore today ran for 90 yards. He only needed 62, and with that, he breaks the NFL record with 14 consecutive seasons of 500 or more rushing yards. That to me is absolutely remarkable.
It's longevity. It's toughness. You look at that running back position, and it's all about strength, stamina, and endurance. And certainly Frank Gore has that.
Montravius Adams from behind brings him down. That's his first sack of the season and the 5th of the day by Green Bay's defense.
You just see him right here, just working on the right guard. And that's
right by Davis.
That's a tough one. Once he gets the edge, of course, Osweiler never feels him coming from behind.
4th and 13. They need the Green Bay 29.
Throw it away.
Gilbert. 6 sacks.
Tough to throw it away on 4th down.
It is. Losing 11. It goes to the Green Bay Packers, who are going to wrap this one up and go to 500. Osweiler, no place to run, no place to hide. 3-0.
Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL. And by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you.
Well, during halftime of today's game, the Wounded Warrior amputee football team took on some Packer alumni in a flag football game. And I don't think anybody left their seat, all watching, honoring these wonderful men and women. There's a little run here late in the game, and it's by Jamal Williams, who is the other running back in back of now Aaron Jones. This is our look at next week on CBS. In this Super Bowl season, next Sunday, regional action. Rich and I will be in Baltimore for the Bengals and the Ravens. It all begins with the NFL Today, kicking off your day at 12 Eastern Time, right here on CBS. This is your home for Super Bowl 53. Aaron Rodgers today, 18 of 27, 181, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Second down and 8. Rodgers in stride. He has got his tight end, Lance Kendricks. Broken up on the play by Rashad Jones. 19-yard catch and run. We're going to reach the 2-minute warning. Green Bay is going to go to 4-4-1. Miami will go to 5.
Love big, love loud, love Le'Veon. From classic nude diamonds to the beautiful ombre collection, bolo bracelets, chocolate diamonds, and every color gemstone in between. No one colors your world like Le'Veon, and nobody sells more Le'Veon than Kay.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Uber. Doors are always opening.
.31 in Green Bay. 2-minute warning. Rich, you had a nice conversation off to the side at practice yesterday with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and he very confident, Kevin. He wasn't willing to make any predictions, but look, he just said, look, when the weather starts to change, it's our time in Green Bay. It's when we seem to play our best football, when it matters the most in the second half of the season. They realize where they're at 3-4-1. You know, he didn't feel this was a turning point, but he really felt like they hadn't played their best football offensively. And, you know, he's healthy now. He's not wearing a knee brace. I think he's moving better. You're seeing that. The fact that they're able to run the football. I think the big story today was Aaron Jones, 145 yards rushing on 15 carries. Now they've got some balance. And if they can get a couple players back, obviously Randall Cobb would make a big difference if he can get back on the field.
Well, Rodgers, Rich, has led the Packers to the playoffs 4 times when they were under 500 at any point, at least 3 games into a season. Rodgers has done it. Phillip Rivers has done it. Favre has done it. The only quarterbacks all time. And right now with this win midway through, they go to 4-4-1.
And I don't care what your issues are with your football team. If you've got a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees or Tom Brady, Kevin, you always have a chance. And I think that's what this team understands and realizes. I think that's what these Packer fans realize, that anything's possible if number 12 is healthy and under center.
That'll be all she wrote. Rodgers continues his streak with no interceptions in his last 228 passes. Going back to week 4 against Buffalo. Rodgers, 2 touchdown passes. Aaron Jones on the ground, 2 touchdown runs and 145 rushing yards. Devontae Adams had 2 touchdowns. The Packers had 6 sacks today defensively and handle Miami with a win of 31-12. Green Bay ends their 2-game losing streak. Their home record goes to 4-0-1, one of 5 teams not to lose at home so far.